May I request our director, Dr. Paknikar, MACS President, Dr. Bapat, and our chief guest, Professor Ashutosh Sharma, to please grace the dais. Thank you, sir. We are indeed delighted for your presence today. A very good morning to one and all present here. I'm happy to welcome you all in presence of galaxy of experienced intellectuals and enthusiastic young minds to celebrate our Founders Day function. I'm sure today's function is going to be full of zeal, enthusiasm, and knowledge. So let's gear up for the function. May I request Dr. Bapat to please welcome our chief guest, Professor Sharma, with a bouquet. May I request Dr. Paknikar to please welcome Dr. Bapat, President MSCS, with a bouquet. Thank you, sir. I now request Dr. Paknikar to start today's program with Director's Report.
Today's chief guest, Professor Ashutosh Sharma, Secretary to the Government of India, Ministry of Science and Technology, Department of Science and Technology, President of MSCS, Dr. D.R. Bapat, Secretary MSCS, Sri Kirloskar Sahib, the Treasurer of MSCS, Dr. Rajurkar, other MSCS office bearers, my colleagues in the institute, invitees, students, a very good morning to you. This is indeed a very special day for us. Normally, Agarkar Founders, our Founders Day is really special, but when we have a person like Professor Ashutosh Sharma as a chief guest, this is indeed a very special occasion for us, and I would like to record my gratefulness to you, sir, for kindly accepting our invitation. I know that he had a lot of engagements back in Delhi, and still he managed to come here. He actually arrived yesterday close to midnight, so I'm really thankful to you for that. The first item in this function is normally director's report. So, and this is for the past 1 year, which activities we have done. This is being narrated in a brief way. I would start this report with little background of the institute. So this is actually Pune in 1945-46. At that time, it used to be known as Pune, and the river had water at that time. And our Pune was a sleepy town, sleepy city, but it was nevertheless very active politically. You can see the science, the Congress Working Committee happening in 1945 October, and Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru and Acharya Kripalani are there, and Mahatma Gandhi was still in the Aga Khan Palace, jailed in Aga Khan Palace, and Kasturba Gandhi had just passed away. So around these turbulent times, 19 visionaries from Pune actually imagined that there has to be an institute for science. Pune already had very famous colleges like Ferguson College or Deccan College, but there was practically nothing for science. And that's how these people, under the chairmanship of Dr. M.R. Jaikar and Secretary was Professor N.V. Joshi, and Professor S.P. Agarkar was the director. They actually established a society called Maharashtra Association for the Cultivation of Science, with the objectives like promotion of science, including its practical application to problems of national welfare. Now, this is called as vision because we are talking about practical applications of science, and these people had this objective back in 1946. So this is one of the major objectives with which this institute was formed, and we are continuing on those objectives. Professor S.P. Agarkar, the first director of the institute, was an accomplished botanist of international repute. He got his PhD from Berlin University, and then he worked as Ghosh Professor of Botany in Calcutta University for almost 24 years, 26 years, and then he came to Pune after retirement and then started this institute. And this institute was actually established by these 19 people with personal funds, with a lot of donations from many other individuals. Professor Agarkar was some of his achievements are like for this. He was the founding fellow and vice president of INSA. He was also a governing body member of the ICMR and also a member of ICAR. He was also a member of the Planning Commission. That time it was known as Planning Committee, and General Secretary of Indian Science Congress Association, etc. And what I would like to highlight is that he was an epitome of philanthropy because he actually donated everything to this institute. His wife's Mangal Sutra also has been donated to the institute. So I think it's very difficult to find these kind of people now. This is the brief history and timeline of the institute. I will not go through the details, but just want to say that recognizing the dedication and hard work of our beloved first director, Professor S.P. Agarkar, we renamed MSCS Research Institutes as Agarkar Research Institute in 1992. And then last year we actually collated his biographical sketch in the form of a small booklet, which was published at the hands of Dr. Kakodkar. And also we established a memorabilia in his honor. So it has a collection of his Professor Agarkar's, some of these items, his typewriter, many things that we use, his personal articles. And if some of you have not seen it, I would just invite you to go and have a look at this memorabilia. Now I come to the institute report. Till recent times, our institute was struggling with kind of a puzzle that we had 5 problems, 5 issues. We had too many diverse areas of research. So obviously it led to lack of focus. Very few extramural projects were there in the institute, and the average age of scientists was about 50. Of course, inadequate space, infrastructure, and sophisticated equipment, some of these problems still are prevalent, but many other problems we have solved. So the puzzle is getting solved. And this is because we actually reorganized our institute in 2014 into thematic areas, and these are 6 thematic areas. One is biodiversity and paleobiology, bioprospecting, bioenergy, genetics and plant breeding, developmental biology, and nanobioscience. Then we redeployed our existing staff and appointed new scientists. So all of a sudden, our average age is now less than 40. So we are a fairly young institution. This is the cover page of the annual report, and what I present is not everything. I must tell you that I am just giving you a flavor of what activities we have done in the last 1 year. So we work in biodiversity, and we actually work on several things, biodiversity of bacteria, fungi, lichens, viruses, diatoms, plants, fossils, which is paleo biodiversity. And we also have several herbaria and culture collections and repositories. So last year we actually worked on anaerobic microbes, which were isolated from methane-hydrate deposits and hot springs, and also some of the uncultured anaerobic microbes, which were isolated from buffalo, goat, and sheep rumen, and also from some animals like star tortoise and green leguana. There are very few people who work on anaerobes in this country, and I should say that our group is one of the few who works on anaerobic bacteria. A new fungus was also identified by our scientists, and this is named after ARI. It is Berxliamium ariensis. Ariens. We also have a national fungal culture collection, which is recognized, which was first started with a generous grant from DST, and now we are running it through our core grants. It has a lot of fungal cultures, and it gives services to many academic research institutes and academic institutes, and also private centers. Our work on plant diversity actually focuses on rare, endangered, and threatened plants. And last year, the scientists have worked on a very special plant, Erioculon, which is one of the smallest plant known. And for the first time, its phylogenetic study has been completed using molecular tools. Also, the vascular plant endemism in the Western Ghats has been unraveled, and again, a new grass genus, a species from Ischimium, which is discovered as a new species, and this is named after Agarkar. It is Ischimium agarkari. We also have Agarkar herbarium, which has a large, almost close to 30,000 specimens in the herbarium. It has been digitized, and it is available to anyone, any users. We also have digitized database of medicinal plant resources of Maharashtra, and it is still to be inaugurated. The Chief Minister of Maharashtra will inaugurate it. We are waiting for a date for him. The other unique group of organisms that we work on is diatoms, and again, very few groups in the world work on diatoms. So we have the scientists working on diatoms has actually discovered new diversity of Luticola species from Western Ghats. He's also working on commonly occurring water quality indicator species of diatoms. Then diatom diversity, new species of diatoms have been discovered from Arunachal Pradesh for the first time. So this actually expands the ARI's exploration to Himalayan biodiversity hotspots. So this puts us in a good position for having a diatom culture collection, and this would be the South Asia's largest culture collection of diatoms. We also contribute a lot in the diatom database, which is called a diatom base. This is a world authority on the nomenclature of diatoms. In paleobiology, people have been working on ichnology of Upper Jurassic rocks, and also on the integrated morphological and molecular taxonomy of benthic foraminifera. This is the second part is unique again because there are very few centers of paleobiology where molecular biology is integrated with their normal morphotaxonomic work. We have recently started fossil storage facility, and the digitization of this facility is underway. The bioenergy group focuses on methane, hydrogen generation, and also they have a strong tie-up with ONGC for petroleum microbiology. So right now, 3 projects are running: microbial enhanced oil recovery, biomethanation of lignite, and bioremediation of terrestrial oil spills. On the left-hand side, you can see a bacterium which grows at 101 degrees Celsius, which is quite unique. And on the right-hand side, you can see 2 plates where we have used a special microbial consortium to degrade oil, and these soil samples have been cleared of any oil spillage. In the bioprospecting group, we are leveraging the biodiversity that people have been working on, and recently the scientists have established a connection of copper to Alzheimer's disease under this group. A mobile app has been actually produced, and it is now we are awaiting its commercialization for actually estimation of hemoglobin. So these are the details of the mobile app. In the developmental biology group, we work on 4 models: Hydra, Drosophila, zebrafish, and chick embryo. So it has been now established last year that the connective tissue growth factor A is required for the scar regression in zebrafish, and I think this result has been published in a reputed journal. Also, it has been established that 200 base pair ATG8A promoter mediates upregulation of ATG8A during developmental and stress-induced autophagy. Autophagy is a hot area. Just 2 years back, the Nobel Prize was awarded for autophagy. Under genetics and plant breeding, we work on 3 crops mainly: wheat, soybean, and grapes, and also crop biotechnology, which supports these programs. We run all India coordinated projects on breeding of wheat, soybean, and grapes. And this year we have released 11th wheat variety from the institute. And one of our scientists, our colleague, Dr. Hundra, was actually felicitated for this by the Minister of Agriculture, Shri Radha Mohan Singh. They have also identified a new durum wheat variety, MSS 4028, which is a high yielding variety, also good milling quality, better nutritional quality, and resistant to black and brown rust. A soybean variety, MSS 1460, has also been identified and for release in the southern, eastern, and northeastern zones of India. So this particular group has been really contributing to national food and nutrition security. Out of wheat, 11 wheat and soybean, 7 soybean varieties released so far. We actually supply these to seed multiplying agencies, and it goes through a chain of production. The chain is like this: breeder seed goes to foundation seed, then to certified seed, and then cultivation at the farmer's field. At every stage, there is a multiplication of 25 times for wheat and 16 times for soybean. So if you calculate last year's figures, then our wheat varieties have been under cultivation to the area of 2.72 lakh hectares. The estimated economic contribution to Indian economy is 1,360 crores. Soybean varieties again have been cultivated for 2.7 lakh hectares, and the estimated contribution to Indian economy is 676 crores. So altogether, yearly contribution to our Indian economy due to our varieties is close to 2,000 crores. In nanobioscience, we are focusing on applications of nanotechnology in medicine, diagnostics, agriculture, and biology. So last year, we have established a kind of dual bimodal treatment of cancer using magnetic nanoparticles and hyperthermia, and also drug. So this is doxorubicin loaded lanthanum strontium manganese oxide nanoparticles, and it has been established that this can work very good. Another unique contribution of the group is in collaboration with our developmental biology scientists. This is using Drosophila I. A microchip has been prepared using Drosophila as a template for cell culture, and they have shown that single cells can be cultured in the wells that are templated using this. We have also developed a kit for rapid detection of white spot syndrome virus. This white spot syndrome virus is a deadly disease in the aquaculture industry, and yearly loss is to the tune of 1,800 crore rupees. This kit can be used by farmers on site, and within 3 to 4 hours you get results. So this is expected to decrease the losses due to this virus. And this product is ready for licensing. We are looking out for companies who can license it from us. Overall, the grants that we have been receiving and publications that institute is making is increasing. For example, last year we received a core grant of about 19.32 crore rupees, and we earn nearly 30% of this through extramural projects. Our publications numbers are increasing, and our impact factor also is increasing every year, so which is a good sign. Given the fact that we work in too many areas, I think this impact factor is quite impressive. This is overall performance of the institute since its inception. The institute has so far published more than 2,700 papers. 343 students have been awarded PhDs. We have 25 Indian patents granted, international patents 14, wheat varieties released 11, soybean varieties 7, grape variety released 1, and one product is in the market, which is nano silver gel. We have many current national and international collaborations with, we have signed MOUs with a lot of international universities, and there are several other international projects going on in the institute. These are our yearly outreach activities, and we benefit a lot of students, farmers, and even common citizens through our activities. We actually celebrated public outreach day where we invited the mayor of Pune, and she interacted with our staff, and a lot of students from schools also came and visited our labs. We also had National Science Day and Hindi Day. ARI was in news for good reason, of course, in the local newspapers. And I would like to thank Department of Science and Technology for generous funding support for last several years. I would like to thank the governing body of MSCS, and especially members like Dr. D.R. Bapat, President, Dr. S.F. Patil, our Vice President, Mr. Kirloskar, our Secretary, Dr. Rajurkar, our Treasurer, and Dr. Banerjee, our ex-President and the member of the governing body. I really salute these people because they have supported me in all good ideas that I was trying to promote in this institute, to realize the dreams of forefathers of this institute. So sometimes I feel that they think that ARI means accepting responsibility of the institute. I'm also thankful to the Institute Council, Research Advisory Committee, Finance and Budget Committee, and of course my scientists and students, and ministerial staff, and also several other funding agencies like ICR, DBT, CSR, and several private industries. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Paknikar. We now proceed to Professor S.P. Agarkar Memorial Oration. The eminent speaker for the oration is Professor Ashutosh Sharma, Secretary to the Government of India, Department of Science and Technology. I request my colleague, Shri Abdul Rahman, Administrative Officer, to please introduce the speaker.
Respected dignitaries and my dear colleagues, a very good morning to you all. It gives me great pleasure to introduce the Honorable Chief Guest of the day, Professor Ashutosh Sharma, Secretary to the Government of India, Department of Science and Technology. Professor Ashutosh Sharma is an alumni of IIT Kanpur and did his BTech in the year 1982. He completed his MS from Pennsylvania State University in 1984. Thereafter, he received his PhD from the State University of New York at Buffalo in 1988, working with Professor Eli Rubinstein, a recipient of US Medal of Science. Our distinguished guest has had a broad international experience as a research faculty at State University of New York, Buffalo School of Medicine, visiting faculty University of Texas at Austin, University of Western Ontario, University of Erlangen-Nuremberg, and the world-class university program of South Korea, and as a member of European Research Commission. He has also held the positions of professor and institute chair professor, the head of chemical engineering, and the founding coordinator of Nanosciences Center and Advanced Imaging Center at the Indian Institute of Technology, Kanpur. Professor Ashutosh Sharma's research contributions are highly interdisciplinary, spanning a wide range in nanotechnology, thin polymer films, nanocomposites, and devices in energy, health and environment, functional interfaces, micro-nano mechanics of soft matter, nanopatterning and nanofabrication, colloid and interfacial engineering, biomaterials and biosurfaces, wetting and adhesion. He has published over 300 peer-reviewed papers, filed over 15 patents, given over 100 invited or keynote conference presentations, and mentored a nanotechnology startup. For his pioneering work, he has received numerous honors and awards, including the inaugural Infosys Prize in Engineering and Computer Science, TWAS Science Prize of World Academy of Sciences, Bessel Research Award of Humboldt Foundation, J.C. Bose Fellowship, Bhatnagar Prize, Homi J. Baba Award of UGC, the Syed Hussein Zahir Medal of INSA, Distinguished Alumni Awards of IIT Kanpur, and State University of New York, Buffalo, Lifetime Achievement of Award of Indian Science Congress, and UNESCO Medal for contribution to the development of nanoscience and nanotechnology. Professor Ashutosh Sharma is an elected fellow of the Indian National Science Academy, the Indian Academy of Sciences, the National Academy of Sciences, India, and Indian National Academy of Engineering, the World Academy of Sciences, and Asia Pacific Academy of Materials. He has also been an associate of editor of ACS Applied Materials and Interfaces, Proceedings of Indian National Science Academy, and ASME Journal of Micro and Nano Manufacturing, and has been on the editorial boards of several journals: Carbon, ACS Industrial and Engineering Chemistry Research, Current Science, Nanomaterials and Energy, Engineering, Chemical Engineering Science, Journal of Colloid and Interface Science, Canadian Journal of Chemical Engineering, and Indian Chemical Engineer. Since January 2015, Professor Ashutosh Sharma is the Secretary to the Government of India, Department of Science and Technology, New Delhi. Our chief guest has also other interest in ancient history, philosophy, poetry, and art. Thank you. I now invite Professor Ashutosh Sharma, Secretary DST, for delivering the 57th Professor S.P. Agharkar Memorial Oration. The topic of his talk is Navigating Scientific Complexity by Common Sense. Thank you. Welcome.